Imagine being locked behind bars, but the real nightmare isn't just the prison itself. It's what's lurking inside those cold, unforgiving walls that makes it worse than hell. As the heavy iron gate slams shut and shadowy figures pace the dim corridors, headlines flash relentlessly, announcing Diddy's arrest and his transfer to a prison feared by even the toughest criminals. Now an ex-mobster, a man who has survived some of America's darkest and most brutal prisons, has come forward with a chilling warning about where Diddy is headed next. This is a story no one has dared to tell until now. Diddy, once a towering figure in the music industry and a symbol of success, now finds himself at the center of a storm he never expected. Following a high-profile legal battle, he was sentenced to serve time in a prison facility unlike any other, a place notorious for its ruthless conditions and a reputation so brutal that even the most hardened criminals steer clear of it. This isn't just any prison, it's a fortress of despair where survival is a daily battle. But what makes this story truly chilling is the insight coming from an unexpected source, an ex-mobster with decades of experience inside America's toughest penitentiaries. His voice carries weight in the underground world, and his warning about Diddy's fate is something no one can afford to ignore.
He'll be a lot better off in prison than he is in the federal jail. You know, at least there you can move around and you got some freedom on the yard and things like that. You know, my thought is he'll collect himself, get himself together. You know, there are ways for him to improve himself. You know, they have the Bureau of Prisons now has a drug program, and if you're allowed to get into that drug program, you can knock as much as 18 months off your sentence. Now, I don't know if he'll qualify, if they'll allow him to go in, but he'll probably start to think about, okay, what can I do to reduce my time now? That's what everybody thinks when you get in there.
Diddy's story is one of extraordinary rise and undeniable influence. From the gritty streets of Harlem to the pinnacle of global fame, Sean Combs, known to the world as Diddy, carved out a legacy that few can rival. As a music mogul, he revolutionized hip-hop, launching careers and producing chart-topping hits that defined a generation. Beyond music, he became an entrepreneur, building an empire that stretched into fashion, beverages, and media. To many, Diddy wasn't just a celebrity, he was a cultural icon, a symbol of hustle, success, and relentless ambition. But life, as it often does, took an unexpected and devastating turn. The news of his arrest sent shockwaves through both the entertainment world and his vast fan base. Headlines blared with disbelief and concern, social media exploded with disbelief and concern, and those who once admired his success were forced to grapple with this new reality. Industry insiders expressed shock, struggling to reconcile the image of the larger-than-life star with the man now facing serious legal consequences. The contrast couldn't be starker. Just months ago, Diddy was seen living a life of luxury, jet-setting around the world, attending exclusive events, surrounded by the glamour of fame and fortune. Now, that glamorous lifestyle is a distant memory. Instead of red carpets and champagne, he faces the cold, harsh reality of confinement. The bright lights have dimmed, replaced by steel bars, concrete walls, and a prison system known for breaking spirits. This fall of grace is not just a personal tragedy, but a powerful reminder of how quickly fortunes can change. For a man who once seemed untouchable, the road ahead is fraught with uncertainty, and the battle for survival has only just begun. The prison where Diddy has been sent isn't an ordinary correctional facility. It's a place shrouded in fear and whispered about in the darkest corners of the criminal world. Imagine a fortress surrounded by towering concrete walls topped with razor wire, where the sun rarely breaks through the thick haze of despair that lingers in the air. Overcrowded beyond capacity, cells meant for one are crammed with 2 or 3 men, their living spaces so small that personal space becomes an unattainable luxury. The constant noise of shouting, banging metal doors, and distant screams create a relentless cacophony that wears down even the strongest minds. Violence isn't just common here, it's a daily, unavoidable reality. Fights break out over the smallest disputes, and gangs rule the yard with brutal efficiency. In this place, every step outside a cell is a risk, every encounter a potential threat. Survival depends not just on physical strength, but on navigating an unspoken code of alliances and betrayals. The guards, who are meant to maintain order, add another layer of terror. According to the ex-mobster who has spent years behind bars in some of America's toughest penitentiaries, corruption runs deep here. Some guards turn a blind eye to illicit activities, while others actively exploit inmates for favors or protection payments. This unchecked power creates an atmosphere where injustice thrives and hope dwindles. Medical care, when it exists, is shockingly inadequate. Injuries from fights, chronic illnesses, and mental health struggles are often ignored or met with indifference. Inmates suffer silently as their conditions worsen and desperation grows. The ex-mobster's testimony brings these horrors into sharp relief. He recounts tales of brutal beatings where victims are left broken, psychological torment that erodes sanity, and survival strategies forged in the crucible of unrelenting cruelty. He speaks of men who lose themselves in the darkness, their spirits crushed by isolation and the ever-present threat of violence. For him, this prison isn't just a place of punishment, it's a place designed to break people entirely. Compared to infamous prisons like San Quentin or Rikers Island, this facility stands apart not only in its physical brutality, but in the systemic corruption and the psychological warfare waged daily. While those other prisons are known for their violence, this one has earned a reputation for stripping away every shred of dignity, leaving inmates trapped not just behind bars, but in an endless nightmare. For Diddy, a man unaccustomed to such conditions, the challenge is monumental. The environment will test every ounce of his strength, willpower, and resilience. It's a world where survival is uncertain, and the stakes have never been higher. Beneath the cold, concrete facade of this dreaded prison lies a darker, more insidious reality, one that few outsiders ever glimpse. Behind the scenes, rumors swirl of corrupt alliances between certain guards and the very gangs they are supposed to control. Whispers speak of deals struck in shadowed corners, guards turning a blind eye in exchange for favors, smuggled contraband, or even direct payments. This unholy alliance fuels a cycle of chaos and violence, where power is brokered in secret and justice is just an illusion. Insiders, voices from within the prison walls, have come forward anonymously, describing horrifying scenes that never make it into official reports. They speak of secret punishments carried out in secluded areas, where inmates vanish for days, only to return bruised and broken, their stories dismissed or covered up. These are not isolated incidents, but part of a disturbing pattern of control through fear and intimidation. For someone like Diddy, whose name carries immense weight outside these walls, the stakes are even higher. His celebrity status paints a target on his back. Some inmates might see him as a valuable asset to exploit, while others view him as a threat to their own power. The prison hierarchy doesn't easily accommodate high-profile prisoners, and special treatment is often a double-edged sword. On one hand, there could be offers of protection. Some inmates or guards might seek to keep him safe in exchange for favors or alliances. On the other hand, this attention could make him a magnet for jealousy, resentment, and calculated attacks. Rumors have already begun to circulate that his movements within the facility are being closely monitored, not just by guards, but by rival factions eager to assert dominance. Leaked communications from prison insiders hint at heightened security measures around Diddy, but also at growing tensions. Some whisper that this scrutiny isn't just about his safety, it's a way to control him, to keep a powerful figure under tight watch and constant pressure. Every interaction is a potential trap, every moment a test. These behind-the-scenes dynamics paint a grim picture. Diddy isn't just fighting for survival against the brutal conditions of the prison itself. He's navigating a dangerous maze of corruption, hidden agendas, and unspoken rules that govern life behind bars. The world outside may watch with fascination, but inside, the game is ruthless and unforgiving. And in this shadowy world, the line between friend and foe blurs, leaving only uncertainty and fear. Inside these prison walls, the battle isn't just physical, it's profoundly psychological. For Diddy, a man who's lived his life in the glaring spotlight of fame and success, the abrupt plunge into this oppressive world is a staggering shock. The mental toll of confinement, isolation, and constant danger weighs heavily, threatening to unravel even the strongest minds. Inmates here live in a state of unrelenting tension. The claustrophobic cells, where the cold concrete closes in like a cage, become a prison within a prison, a suffocating space where time drags and hope feels distant. The days blur together, each moment marked by fear of what might come next, an unexpected attack, a brutal altercation, or simply the crushing loneliness that seeps into every corner of the mind. Stories from within paint a haunting picture of despair. Men who once carried dreams and families now face breakdowns, their spirits eroded by the endless grind of survival. Some retreat into silence, their minds fracturing under the pressure. Others lash out, a desperate attempt to reclaim control in an environment designed to strip it away. Yet, amid the darkness, there are rare flickers of resilience. Some inmates fight to hold on to fragments of hope, whether through memories of life outside, faith, or the sheer will to endure. For Diddy, the challenge will be immense, adapting from a world of luxury and influence to one where vulnerability is a liability, and strength often comes at a brutal cost. The ex-mobster who has seen this torment firsthand describes it as a slow erosion of self, a psychological warfare waged by the prison itself. Every day behind bars chips away at identity and sanity. It's not just about locking someone up, it's about breaking them down piece by piece. For the viewer, imagine the cold walls closing in, the echoing footsteps down endless corridors, the suffocating silence punctuated only by distant shouts. Feel the weight of isolation, the crushing uncertainty of not knowing what tomorrow will bring. This is the invisible punishment, the mental prison that no one sees but everyone suffers from. Diddy's story isn't just about the physical dangers he faces. It's a profound test of his mental and emotional endurance. In this relentless world, surviving means battling the demons inside as much as the threats outside. In that fight, silent, unseen, and unforgiving is often the hardest of all. Diddy's incarceration marks a critical turning point, not just for him personally, but for his entire legacy and career. The questions looming over his future are as complex as they are uncertain. Will he emerge from this crucible intact, or will the brutal realities of prison life change him in ways that fans in the industry can hardly imagine? Could he face even greater challenges ahead, both inside the prison walls and beyond? Survival in a place this unforgiving is never guaranteed. For someone like Diddy, accustomed to control, influence, and a life of luxury, the transition is more than physical. It's a profound test of character. Some will argue that his resilience, business acumen, and mental toughness may help him navigate the treacherous terrain. Others worry that the psychological and emotional toll could leave deep scars, altering his outlook, his spirit, and ultimately his public persona. the impact on his brand and career could be seismic. Diddy built an empire on charisma, creativity, and image. Yet the stigma of prison time, especially in such a notorious facility, may shift public perception dramatically. Endorsements, partnerships, and future projects could face serious setbacks. The music industry, fashion world, and business ventures may either rally around him as a story of redemption or distance themselves amid controversy. His fans, too, will wrestle with reconciling the man they admired with the man behind bars. More broadly, Diddy's imprisonment spotlights a growing conversation about celebrity prisoners and the criminal justice system. High-profile incarcerations expose glaring disparities in how the system treats wealth, fame, and influence. They ignite debates about prison conditions, mental health support, and the urgent need for reform in facilities notorious for cruelty and neglect. For society at large, this case is a lens into the harsh realities many face behind bars, whether famous or forgotten, and a call to question what justice truly means. Will Diddy's experience inspire meaningful change, or will it be another cautionary tale lost in the noise? In the end, Diddy's future remains unwritten. His story is still unfolding in the shadows of those prison walls. What comes next, redemption, reinvention, or further struggle, will depend not just on his strength, but on a system that many say is broken to its core. The world watches and waits, knowing that this high-stakes saga is far from over. As we near the end of this harrowing journey, it's the ex-mobster's final warning that hangs heavy in the air, a stark reminder of the true dangers lurking within those walls. He's seen men enter this prison full of hope and swagger, only to be broken down by relentless violence, corruption, and despair. Every day is a fight for survival, where the roles are unwritten and mercy is a rarity. The stakes couldn't be higher for Diddy. This isn't just about serving time. It's about navigating a world where one wrong move can change everything. The ex-mobster's words echo with chilling clarity. This place doesn't just imprison the body, it crushes the soul. You have to be stronger than you ever imagined, or you don't make it out at all. So the question remains, will Diddy, with all his strength and resilience, make it out of this nightmare intact? Or will this prison, with all its hidden horrors, break him in ways the world hasn't yet seen? The answer lies in the shadows, and only time will tell. As we close this intense journey, from the heights of fame to the stark, unforgiving reality of prison walls, we're left with a profound reflection on resilience, survival, and the human spirit under pressure. Diddy's story is far from over, and it forces us to ask, can he withstand the brutal challenges ahead and come out stronger? Or will the weight of this dark chapter change everything we thought we knew about him? We want to hear what you think. Do you believe Diddy has what it takes to survive this ordeal and reclaim his legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, share this video to spark the conversation, and don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive deep dives into the most gripping celebrity and crime stories out there. Stay tuned, because our next videos will unravel even more shocking prison tales and celebrity scandals you won't want to miss.